So am I audible to all of you?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
And what about the video?
The video is clear.
Yeah, video is also clear. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so welcome to all of you. Welcome to both of you, Gayatri and Kunal.
Kunal. Thank you for having us, sir.
Okay, so let me tell you about the structure that I planned. So we'll be having this interview in three phases. In one phase, I'll be talking about the future prospects, placements, and difference between HR and ODCL. Okay, these are questions we frequently encounter from the students who are aspiring for tests. Okay, and in second phase, we'll be talking about the feature of program, like for what you are getting trained, what are the learning outcomes, what are the capability outcomes. And in third phase, I'll be talking about the entrance and all the processes involved in entrances. Okay.
Okay.
So you both can choose in what order you want to discuss. My idea was to follow the same order in which I have already in which I have illustrated to you. But you can also suggest me that we can follow this first, discuss this first, and then.
What do you think, Gayatri? Should we follow the same or you have something in mind?
So, sorry, again, to ask again. So, first one would be how to go about the interview preparation process. Is it?
No. The first one is future prospects, placements, and what are the differences with HR
and OD.
ODCL, and not only differences, what are the similarities and
Okay.
aspects, you know,
Okay. The second one
which we
is?
can. Second is like the feature of program. What are the things that you all do there, and what are the learning outcomes and capability outcomes that you expect to get from ODCL program. And third is the entrance part. Okay.
Entrance in while preparing for the examination or post, during the project?
Preparing for the exam and interview for getting in to the program.
Okay. Okay.
So let's follow the same.
Yeah, sure.
Okay?
Works.
It will be the first student should know for what program they are preparing for. Then only they should know in what way they should prepare. Okay. So I'll be requiring the lecture in three parts also. Okay, so just a second. So as I already mentioned that in this part we'll be discussing about the prospect of ODCL. So first of all, I congratulate the test management or the faculty of management or school of management for bringing out this course, and in just 3 to 4 years of operations, they have achieved a very good industry reputation and placement figures. So can you give me a brief about the placements that you are getting there from this program? And you'll be talking about the both summer internship and final placements.
Now we like to take it up.
You can go if you can go if you want to. Yeah.
To talk about the summer placements, it's like you want to talk about summer placements or the final placement process as such. So it would be either.
Anything. We're going to start with
anything.
Final placement.
Okay. First, I'd like to start with summer placements because recently we got through it. The whole batch of cohort of 2024 got into 100% placements figures have been recorded. And year on year, we have been showing increase in mean stipend that we are receiving out of it. And the sectors and partners we have with respect to ODCL department is from FMCG, pharma, and the roles being in consulting and MFG. So there are multiple things. There are multiple companies that we have tied up with. For example, Bosch, Deloitte, Mars. So all are good brands, very well-known brands that we have been tied up with, and our classmates have been placed into. So talk about the mean stipend, it is 2.1 lakhs for the stint of 2 months, and the highest stipend stands at 3.4 lakhs, whereas the median stipend for the whole class cohort stands at
so Gayatri, me being a mentor for not only placement, I also look for the profile and what is the depth of that profile that is being offered, because placement figures might be influenced with the current economic situations, but the profile that you get is important for me. So can you tell me that what difference do you get when a person who is from the HR program, when he gets a summer internship role in somewhere, and when you get, do you have any difference, or it is same for both of you?
Yeah, that is part different in it. Like few profiles, we according to the company's vacancies and wants, they offer OD roles as well, OD consulting roles as well, and there are few areas wherein we work as HR as well. So it is a mix of both, I would say, because not all companies are very much aware about the OD role that they'd be having in their company. So they are right now in the exploration phase. And whatever the role it is, we as a cohort, we would implement the learnings on OD, whatever we have gone through for the whole 1 year, since it's a summer internship. So we'll be having a knowledge of 1 full year. So that whole 1 year's knowledge of OD would be implemented in wherever organization we get into, be it like whatever role they are offering us as. So it might be HR role as such, but the implementation part would be mostly on the OD lens. So that way we would give a comprehensive view for the company, for the organization that we are associated with.
So, okay, Gayatri, I'll be asking you one question, which I frequently have seen people have applied for HR and ODCL both, even after they have a very good number of year of experience with them. And for me, I have always thought when ODCL program is there, anybody who has experience of 2 or 3 years, they should prioritize the ODCL program first. But in general, I have seen people have not prioritized ODCL, but still they have preferred HR as their first option and ODCL as their second option, despite they have got good number of experience, good number of years of experience. So it might be the problem with the placement stats that was there earlier. And from now, this year onward, we might see different scene among the people who have applied there. But still, from your point of view, I would like to know, or you can suggest, you can compare these two programs in 2-3 points, so that we can pitch that WorkX, with a person with WorkX should prioritize ODCL over HR.
So according to me, the statistic that you said, people preferring
so
HR.
This question, I would like both of you should answer this question. You and Kunal both. We'll start with Gayatri only. Gayatri, you can continue with your answer. And then I will go for Kunal.
Okay. So people who have industry experience, if they get into ODCL department, so their experience will be adding value to the class learning. Peer learning is more important, like given more importance in the course curriculum as such. So it would obviously add different dimension to the class. So if at all you have 2 years of work ex minimum, I would request most of them to apply it. And I think this trend that you're talking about, people preferring HRM over ODCL in preference part, I think this trend had actually been broken from this year onwards. Like for instance, in my classmates, at least 40 to 50% of those in the class have preferred OD. So just that the popularity of OD and the market needs for OD and OD professionals.
So this data can also suggest that professors are choosing only those people who are prioritized OD over HR.
No. There are few people who couldn't make through, but I don't know about how professors are talking about in choosing level, because they choose meritorious students. Whoever passes through the test net and sits in the interview process, or a part meritorious, they have proved themselves in test net. Over and above it in OPA, they are giving us situations, situation-based questions.
We'll be talking about that later. Let's go back to the question.
Sure. So getting back to the question, so I think in our batch per se, this trend has broken, and I think it would be following the trend, and the more number of percentage people preferring OD, because the OD buzz has started in the industry, and people know about ODCL very well even before applying for it. So I think this trend has broken. The preference part
Okay.
trend has broken.
So Kunal, would you like to add something to it?
Yes, sir. As Gayatri said, my first preference was OD, and many other students, many of my peers had their first preference as OD, even when they had cleared the both HR and OD. So the primary thing that remains is that we uh, we started in 2018, and we have seen a year-on increase in placement statistics very fundamentally. And if we talk about the 2022 final placements, our highest ATC was 42.09 lakhs per annum, and
Kunal, can you tell me in terms of capability of course or outcome of course, rather than using the placement figures? Because
okay. So see, first of all, we need to understand what OD is all about. So if I imagine organization as a tree, and there are various branches of the tree, one might be supply chain, one might be HRM, one might, so all these function roles. So the OD lies in the roots of the organization, developing the roots. What I mean is developing the people's capabilities in the organization, so that the effectiveness of the organization is increased. And this is what OD is all about. And second is the change, the change management part, handling the people side of change. For example, in my previous organizations, if we had this Kaizen and 5S implementation program. So that from that point of view, I realized that change management is so important. And why is it so important? Because people are inherently toned to get one way of seeing things, forming a habit. So how to break that habit so that people are less resistant to change, but not only change, changing for better. So that's what OD and change management lies. And third part is of leadership. And since we are socially sensitive institution, we are don't have just only ordinary any type of leadership, but being socially sensitive, being sensitive to people. And we have a value driven leadership in that sense. So that's what the core values and ethics of OD lie. And we
okay,
are not
so
okay, please.
it's all right. I got your answer. Maybe all the people who are listening this podcast, they must have understood that. In addition, I would just like to add that how I perceive the course, that it is like super specialization of HR. So basically, by doing OD after your work, you are heading by many steps, then following the regular stepping stone of HR, and then going to the OD consultant role. So you can have the jump here. You have got the good opportunity to get 10-year jump with this program. So people who have experience and still wants to go for that organizational development role, they should choose this course rather than choosing human resource program. Okay, so we'll leave this discussion to the people who are applying for the course, and they still can prioritize HR over ODCL, and they might be convinced for ODCL over HR. So okay, so the next part, like, what are the long-term career prospect that you guys see? Like is it the same like that you get through HR, or do you see something different in your life, and after 10 year, 15 year down the line?
Uh, Gayatri, can I take this first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sir, according to me and what I've seen from past famous figures and my seniors, and I've talked to my super seniors as well, we have philanthrop roles being offered here. We have OD consulting roles being offered to us. We have HR roles being offered to us. We have HR analytical roles being forward to us, even change management roles and even management consulting roles. So that's what the beauty of OD lies in, because we see as an organization, we are taught about the organization from a very holistic view, and that what keeps recruiters keep coming in for us and provide us not just one constricted approach but a philanthrop of roles, because we have seen uh, organization from a wider perspective. So that's what I think, that's what the key difference lies
Okay.
in
But still, Malab, since this is a very experimental course from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, although they have justified it through a few one-year diploma courses before they launched this program, and it is like it's too early to say that what you will be expecting after 15 years, 20 years down the line. But I think that you might get role to develop organization from scratch, and you might be better entrepreneur than other stream because of your eyes were detailed, because the learning that you get here in developing organizations for different challenges. Okay, so we'll move for the second part of our interview, which will be learning about the program, the feature of program. Okay, so I'll just brief you about before I'll start the recording. I want here that the students should know that what are the subjects they are learning. Well, you are learning in ODCL program, and what kind of projects that you get throughout your course, and how this learning impacts you, and how difficult it is to gain or take the learning from the curriculum or professors. And one question we always encounter that since this is a new course, there is no legacy of literature or legacy of pedagogical innovation in terms of teaching ODCL. So do you feel that you miss something in that term? So we'll be talking about this in this phase. So I'll frame the question for you to make you comfortable with the part. Let me frame the question. The first question that I have is that how much management do you learn here? The program is MA in ODCL, and since this entire ODCL doesn't say that this is a management program, but again, the placement stats and the company which are investing you, they are from the big, they are all are big, not corporates. So how much management does your program have? Like how much management studies is there in your program?
Kunal, shall I take it?
Yeah, please.
Do you want me to explain, or have you got the question?
Yeah, I got it. So it's just I thought Kunal would be taking time. So the management part to talk about is so this is not function specific. For example, if it is a HR, they study about HR, and here like in ODCL we study about multi dimensions, operations. We have a subject called operations here. In this semester, we had financial management in the previous semester, and there are subsequent subjects that will touch the almost all the parts of management studies. And that's why OD as a it's not a function specific; it is multi-dimensional, as Kunal had pointed out earlier. It touches about all the departments in a business. So, and if there is any problem in it, we as OD professionals or change management professionals would be equipped enough to address all the issues in any department in a business. So, it is not like we'll be specialized only in HR. We'll be specialized only in operations. We'll have a knowledge about almost all the domains in management, and that is where the edge of ODCL lies in. And that is where the future of ODCL also lies in, and that's where the buzzword of ODCL has actually cropped up, and industry is looking for OD professionals and change management professionals. Along with this, there is a component of leadership. If you say like it is OD, change management, and leadership, and to pull the other two forward, it requires leadership ability in the individuals. So all these three things put together by the leadership qualities, all put together would make one from ODCL a better professional in terms of management domain. So this is what my understanding is. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Kunal, do you want to add something to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and And apart from the other MBA programs, the difference lies in that TISS being a research-based institution. So a lot of emphasis is based on research-based findings. So we have an dissertation that we have to submit, and that actually helps us to develop a skill set, that when we go out to the field, we have that arm in behind us, that what kind of skill would be used. So that develops from there. And apart from that, we have four field projects or four field internship, and these are not specifically in HR domain. One would just, we had completed our first field internship in manufacturing, then we had service based industries, consulting, and then HR. So we get to view organization in from a whole different perspective, from all the lenses. And apart from that, we have summer internships too. So that kinds of drives a personal transformation in us. We have and then the best part is that we have the peer to peer learning. We have in fact, many of my classmates are from Ivy League, from IITs and NIT. So that creates a different kind of learning that really helps us to transform ourselves.
Okay, somehow you answered my second question also, which was like I was trying to ask you that we have always seen that OD professionals or training for OD happens after 10 years of experience, because earlier, whatever the program were available for OD, even the certificate program, they required at least 10 years of experience, or if, at least 5, or even some of the institutions ask for 10 years of experience. And since the test is asking for just 2 years of experience, and they are trying to teach you those big things to you, which is like intervention in organization and leadership training and change management. So how do you guys cope up with that learning? And still, the program is due. Even the conceptualization as a 2-year program is just 4-year-old course. It is just 4-year-old course. So do you feel some problem in getting all those learnings, or there is still a scope of improvement that you can suggest? So what's your take on it?
I would like to take it. So the course is very well designed to make us learn in stepwise manner. So every semester, it's not like we have to read everything and you have to not have knowledge of everything from seminar. They know that we come from different background. We have people from commerce background. We have people from engineering background. So it is we are people like who are a very generalistic population, not subjected to management studies. So that in mind, the course is very well designed in each semester, like how we'll be enriched knowledge-wise and personally and professionally. We'll be upgraded in every semester with every project we'll be assigning for. So, and it is mostly of group project rather than individual assignments. So, even today we had group assignment. So every peer learning part, we tend to learn from our peers, and we'll be given feedback by the faculties. So this way, it is very well designed that it is not overburdened on us, and it is like there is a gradual increase in knowledge quotient, according to myself. So that I think it doesn't feel like naive. And as you said, it's like 4 years old, and the experimental part is all over, I guess. And we are in a very good shape right now. And I think we are just adding values through like whatever experimental is done, and we are just adding, the faculties are adding extra values, what all to be improved. And I also want to mention about the leadership as service project that we'll be stepping in from the next week onwards. So wherein we'll get to work with very different organizations. So therein we will also learn about multiple things that not proper corporate but NGOs and all. So these things in mind, I think everything is gradual and very well designed. And the experimental part is over, according to me.
Okay. So I'll just ask, do you take any pro bono case for consulting from the program side? Like serving it for free, like putting your like the consulting for free for the organizations which are like not ready to take as a paid service for OD interventions.
Actually, we do the field internship for free only. That's the learning that we get. The all 4 field internship are pro bono, and the summer internship is not so. So, and this leadership service is also one such case. So it's all about the learnings, and these leadership as service in the four field work field immersions is where this stands apart from other MBA colleges. So along with that, we also
So
professional.
I'll be asking for a pro bono case from my organization. Okay.
Sure,
Yeah,
we'll
so
be happy to do
whosoever
it.
is ready for that can contact me from your batch. Okay,
Sure,
Kunal,
sure.
you were trying to add something to it.
Yes, yes. Regarding see, OD, yes, it's relatively new, but I think we have a broader structure in mind, and we up to now we have been delivering the results more than what was targeted. So we are on the right track, and our course is actually well designed by these industry experts. In fact, industry experts come and teach us. So our professors at TISS or ODCL not only emphasize or having a well-filled mind, like knowing the theories right, what Peter Drucker said, or what different change management guru said, but also to create a sense of a well-formed mind, a mind that reacts to new changes, a mind that reacts to changes that we haven't seen before. So that's how we gain experience, and that's why I keep repeating about this personal transformation. I have nearly 6 months in TISS, but I've seen that yes, something is transforming in me. That really that's a great feeling to have. And at TIS ODCL, we have this understanding of peoples and systems and how collectively it can change teams and even organizations as well.
Okay. Chalo, thank you for this. We'll go for the next phase now. But before that, I'll be adding something to it. What I've always thought that Indian organizations, which were basically mostly most of the Indian organizations are being run by the particular family or a person. We don't have that corporate governance structure that we have in US and other countries. So since the world is like changing very fast due to the technology and globalization and transport innovations and revolution in all the communication mediums. Uh, if organizations are not picking up the change or not being ready for the change, they will go obsolete. So just HR is not efficient to win that situation or cope up. HR is not efficient to cope up with those situations. So, in my point of view, in Indian's economy, your program can literally uh, put life back to it because most of the companies, when they come in competition from the MNCs, they feel this lag in them because their organizational structure and functioning is very scientific, and we do follow the traditional form of management. So the change that is required should be very guided. Otherwise, it will be very disastrous. So that's why I think ODCL program is very important, and not only TIS. I think many other institutions should bring this course so that people can be ready for those change or uh, disaster. Okay, so now let's go for the next part, which is like helping the students to get in this program. And so this program has so okay, so the first there will be a complaint for the management because every year they come up with a new agenda of testing, a new agenda of test. Like they want to have testnet, they want to have testmat for ODCL, and they also want to have GD, and they also want to have subjective writing. And due to COVID, and it's not like only they have the problem, even the natural disaster that came, and due to which they have to shrink, or they had shrink the admission process in just 3 phases, which is like testnet, interview, and extempore. So first question from my side would be, do you think that this much is enough to actually prioritize the students or rank students for the program? Okay, should I explain the question again, Gayatri?
Kunal, would you like to take up?
Yeah. Well, actually, TISnet has three broader structures of English, like from various, it's pretty similar to the other management exam courses, but the difference lies in the GK part. So as different lies in the GK part, it is
But the
static as
GK
well
is
as
same
dynamic,
which
so
they
that
are
there is an
asking from. The GK is same which they are asking from all other students, and every program of test has testnet. So the testnet exam is not a test for merit for any particular program. It's a general aptitude test that if you qualify testnet, you
yes,
are able to learn at test. It's not program specific. The only thing that is program specific for you is like the personal interview. So
yeah.
so so my complaint from the administration was like they should have a separate test which at least which can actually uh, check the management aptitude or ODCL based aptitude in students.
Yes, but I was coming to that. So because we have TISS, because TIS is basically a socially sensitive an institution with backed with research. So GK kind of forms the basis of that. And GK is not from one aspect, from different aspects of the programs offered at TISS, like arts and media, even some management, even some business news are also asked. The broader point of lies in the TISMAT, which used to earlier happen before the COVID struck us. So in TIS MAT, there was business aptitude test, reading comprehension, all kinds of things were included in that. Uh, but if we come to current scenario, what has been followed from the past 2 years of the trend, we have extempore round, and which is specific to the program we are aligned to. So if you are aligned for ODCL, you would be asked some kind of extempore topics which are kind of related to OD. And even in the interview, you are specifically asked why OD is important to you. And so that's a basic so that person has a basic understanding when to of OD when he comes to give the interview, and the professors them can gauge that is this person right fit for the OD course. Will his presence in the OD in the students add value to the peer-to-peer learning? So I think in that sense it's kind of well designed, and but I think it's very highly optimized because we have to keep the time aspect in check as well. I think Gayatri can also add on that. That was my point of view personally.
Yeah. In online personal interview, they just don't ask why OD generic questions. They, for example, in my case, it was they gave me two situations and they asked and they checked how well I apply my OD concepts, the basic understanding of OD that I had read, how well I applied the concepts to the situations, and I was probed into it very deeper. So it was a very surface level understanding if I look back, but then it was gauged because that is an extra effort that they want people to put in even at the entry level. So that is where the differentiation factor of selecting the candidate over OPI lies in. It's not like any generic person could be selected. They definitely check the merit of the students in this way. It's not just what is this, what questions were not asked. It was like how I would be applying the concepts. So that is where the difference lies, I guess.
Okay. So let's talk about the dates first, because many students who have joined us in live session, so probably they might be seeing the recorded one. They would like to know what are the important dates for getting in test ODCL program. So for session 2023 to 2025, the forms are out now, and the last date to fill up the form is 15th January, I think. And once they fill the form, they can maximum choose three priorities, and if they want to get into ODCL, they should keep the priority one for ODCL, and then they will appear for testnet, which will happen in somewhere in February. The dates are not out yet.
Yeah.
uh, and once they will qualify from the testnet is qualifying, as well as the testnet score is also important for the final selection. And once you qualify for interviews, the extempore and OPI are not like they. Everyone who will qualify, they will appear for the extempore and OPI in just one meeting with professors. And the weightages are 40% from testnet, 40% from interview and 20% from extempore. Am I right? Okay. So is it true, no? 40, 40,
I think
20.
50%, no, it is 50, 30, and 20, I guess. if
Yes,
I'm
Okay,
not wrong,
50,
correctly.
50 for testnet,
Net,
30 for
yes.
interviews, and 20 for
20.
extempore.
Yeah,
External.
20
Yeah,
for X. It
exactly.
was followed up to when pandemic hit us, but right now we have to see what the latest guidelines would be.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, matlab you need to score good in all three stages, because the
Yes,
scores
yes,
of all these three stages will be counted in
Exactly.
your final
yes, yes.
weighted score. So the last part of interview will be like what suggestion you will give the aspirants for preparing for testnet and as well as interview. So let's talk about testnet first. That how should they prepare? They should because the time is very less. Like we just have 1 month and one month, like around 40 days are left. So how do you suggest to prepare for the program?
So I personally would suggest first to have a hang of at least 6 months current affairs, like one-liner current affairs, but they should be knowing even before jumping into the current affairs parts. What I did was, and it really helped me out, was analyzing the previous year question paper, last 3 years question paper, so that you can note down which is the area that they are focusing the importance on. So, for example, I still remember they used to focus on the Nobel Prize section. At least one question would be from Nobel Prize section. So if they, rather than depending upon the analysis of somebody else, it's always good that you analyze it. And because if you analyze like, okay, Nobel Prize was there in the previous year paper, and this year when the Nobel Prizes were announced, they'll be having, they should think that, okay, this is an important area that this concentrates on. So that is how I'm just telling this as an example. So this is how it works for all the topics. You have to analyze what is the trend of the examination, and according to that you have to prepare. And it's not just only preparing on those important areas. Over and beyond it, there is a few areas that might fluctuate. So you have to be have to have good knowledge about at least 6 months current affairs of the pre like if the exam is happening on February, 6 months before February. So 6 months for sure. And if you have really good time, you can concentrate on doing all the 1 year current affairs. So this would really help them in GK section. And when it comes to aptitude and reasoning, it is like not as tough as CAT examination, but it is really doable. Like, and you don't have negative marks in testnet, and that is one good advantage people should make use of, rather than making a random guess. If they could come decipher into some logic and make an educated guess, that would definitely fetch them at least 50-50 probability. If they fall in the positive 50 and they're going to get 1 mark, rather than not attempting at all. So, and I would like to say, like, take an educated guess rather than random guessing. And maths, and obviously it requires practice. At least an hour of practice would be sufficient for aptitude and reasoning section. And English, again, practice as much as you could. Take mock examinations, analyze your strengths and weakness, and then you know where you stand at in the competition. And I would also like, if time permits, they should start with solving the 2020 question paper, last year question paper. And they should know, except for GK will be fluctuating every year. English and reasoning, aptitude is one thing that they can gauge on their strength and weaknesses. So that way they can know where they stand with respect to the competition and the marks. And GK, they have to really work on daily basis. And it's always good if you have the hang of the newspaper, daily newspaper. And this newspaper reading will help you in the extempore as well. Because they sometimes ask, like, what is the current situation, current business update? They'll be specific. Just, it's not an open-ended question. They'll be like specific. What happened to this organization? What is the current news with respect to this organization? So it's always good to have a habit of reading newspapers on a daily basis. It will be helpful for both the stages. And Kunal, I would like to hear it from you as well. And next we can go to the section.
Yeah, for me, it would be a bit different. Because since seeing the time in mind and seeing the practicality of the thing is mind, what I did was when I had this amount of time left, I first gauged where I'm standing right now. So I would rather suggest that go for mock and keep a track, keep a Excel ready of it, and analyze what are you really good at and what are not really good at. Start working on what you are not good at and start preparing for it. So there must be few sections that we are one that I or any of us could be very good at. Try to keep it aside for that for a while and work on your weak areas. So I think 1 month would be enough for that. And for the GK part, analyzing previous year's question is very important, and we must need to understand from where these questions are coming from arts or media or from current affairs, what they are targeting for, or awards and honors. So that, keeping that sense in mind, I think many of the aspirants who would be seeking in admission to ODCL or any other program, so it must be of a great help to them as well, and they would be able to make it.
Yeah, matlab, even we as a trainer, we focuses on these things only, like you and Gayatri said. And our GK content has specific sections like policies, because last year you had 3 to 4 questions from policies, and frequently you get questions from culture or social issues, based on social issues. Okay, so let's talk about the OPI. How did you prepare for OPI? Did it require too much of time, or you can prepare in, because this year you are not going to get time like you had in last year or last year. So you will have very limited time to prepare for OPI. So do you
Yeah.
want to say, will you suggest that people should start preparing for OPI before testnet, or they can wait for that?
So it's up to them. If they think that they are really going to perform good at this, that it's always good to start right now. And if they are not very sure about their testing preparation, it's always good to make a educated decision. Like let them finish the tested part, and if a worst case, it will at least have 1 month for preparing for the OPAs. So that time they can for extempore, it requires practice whatsoever it is, because you get just 1 minute. Once the topic is announced, you'll be getting 1 minute to jot down your points. And exactly after the 1 minute's alarm rings, you'll have to start. And you have to speak for 3 minutes. So you should have the knack of thinking in different multivarious dimensions in that given 1 minute. So be it any topic, it might be any topic. So few were related to ODCL, few were related to current affairs. So it depends upon your situation and the panel you are sitting in. And when it comes to the actual interview process, there are 5 books mentioned in ODCL
This is
website.
the very new from any management program, because the only
Yeah.
this ODCL has have given 5 names.
Yeah.
That you must read one of these. Every
Yeah.
year, like my students, they read different books. So then I get confused, from what book, and I should ask what, because
Okay.
all the books are not very similar in nature, but they have
Exactly.
different things there. In okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
So
they
did you
have
read
given
any
5
of?
books.
So every one of your batch have actually read a entire book, or they just looked it superficially?
No, at least a chapter people. I'm telling minimum 1 chapter at least people would have read, because the panelists want the understanding of the students. They want to know how students are interested in the course, how well they are aligned to the course. So the interest factor is what they are looking into, and the interest is shown by the amount of effort you put even in the evaluation process. So, for example, I read one book, and whichever book is easy, there was one
What
book which
I'll
is
do,
little.
I'll jot down the 5 names here in the description of YouTube also, so
Sure.
that if people want, if students want, they can start reading from
Yeah.
now on also.
And the
Okay,
PDFs
Chalo,
are also available online free.
all these things are all very helpful for students, because you
Exactly.
guys are very you have consolidated the entire things in a very what I'll say, effective way, so that people will not get confused, students will not
Yeah.
get confused. So I'll put in the recording off. but just a second. I'm also ending the session, live session here. But you two will stay for a while, you know. Let me stop the live session.